Um, like Paul Dennison said, movement is the door to learning. With this inspiration in mind, we three have started the Movement Advantage as a venture which drives us by our passions to fulfill your potentials. What we bring to you is a carefully curated program, a series of workshops, which will be for the caregivers, for the educators, parents, and children, which combines various sciences and disciplines to bring to you movement based tools that aim at maximizing your potential. Do we make you dependent on us? No. We believe in giving you the independence, and we ensure that once you complete the series with us, you are equipped to take care of all life's challenges. Um, about our team, we have with us Minaz. Minaz has completed her special education in ELED. She is an International Breakthroughs faculty member and a Touch for Health professional as well. She's been in this industry for close to 20 years now, and if you're in Bombay, you know who she is. Pratinder. Pratinder has completed a B.Ed in special education again. She has, with her work, made mark in Delhi and now in Pune, and that continues to grow for us. She again is a Breakthroughs faculty member. Shailaja, that's me. I was a practicing solicitor who's now working with the Breakthroughs International, as well as I'm a phonics professional working with various children across schools in Bombay. And yeah, all of us are together for our binding factor, that is our passion to bring to you the best. I'd now like to hand over to Pratinder, who would take it forward.
Thank you, Shailaja. A very good evening to all of you and a very, very warm welcome. I would like to start with a quote by author and public speaker Jerry Newport, and I quote, "I know of nobody who is purely autistic or purely neurotypical. Even God has some autistic moments, which is why the planets spin." Unquote. None of us here is new to autism. It is something we live with every day of our lives. We can choose to either worry about it or focus on the strengths and work on the weaknesses. Because worry never accomplishes anything really, other than generating even more worry. So when we have a problem, it is best to concentrate on the solution to the problem rather than on the problem itself. And I have yet to meet a person other than Nivedita Sengupta, our speaker for the day, to whom this applies best. Nivedita is a graduate in child psychology with various diplomas in related fields, and she currently works as a special educator at the Sri Ram School, Gurugram. She lives life to the fullest, dancing, singing, acting, and going out with friends. Nivedita has bravely carved out new paths to help her daughter Medha live a life as normal and full as any neurotypical child. When no research was available, and I'm talking of 30 years ago, she experimented with Medha. When society shunned neurodivergent children, she went up to people and explained Medha's lack of social skills to them. When she met parents who were ready to give up, she counseled them and she gave them hope. She built on Medha's strengths of reading and working on the computer. And today, Medha, in spite of being on the spectrum, uses these very efficiently in her job as an assistant librarian at the Shiv Nadar School in Gurugram. While her goal was to mainstream Medha's life as much as possible, many times it took a toll on Nivedita, the woman, the mother, the daughter, the wife, the teacher. We are all aware of that. It happens to all of us. So she needed counseling sessions too. Before that, I'd like to add something. When I said that she experimented 30 years ago, I'd like to say that this week, I attended a 3-day CRE workshop, and the topic was development of social and play skills in children with autism. And believe me, all the modalities and therapies discussed, every single one of them was something that I had seen Nivedita experiment with Medha on her own over the last 3 decades. Today, they are accepted therapies. COVID-19 gave Nivedita time to pen down her journey. And this shaped into a book, Above and Beyond, which is a harbinger of hope and support for parents of neurodivergent children. It is a tale of a mother's faith, her tremendous hard work, and above all, unconditional love that can make anything possible. It is a book about Medha and Nivedita's personal journey, which is quite extraordinary to say the least. When she felt low, she, as a parent, also needed counseling sessions. Dr. Amit Sen and Dr. Shelja Sen, usually respected figures in the field of mental health, supported her and guided her at times. Dr. Amit Sen has written the foreword to Nivedita's book, and I shall quote what he says. Medha's mother had already accepted her condition, embraced it, and was prepared to walk many an extra mile. Nivedita was willing to stand up to the judgmental gaze of others, but unwilling to allow the constricted understanding of disability in our society define Medha. She was ready to dig deep and make her own path when none was available. Unquote. In Above and Beyond, her book, Nivedita shares her struggles, hardships, and her triumphs, joys, and immense gratitude, often in the same breath. She shares her story through her book and through group and individual talks to empower other parents who are struggling with what is the way forward for the neurodivergent children. This is a book not only of faith, not only for those parents, but for every parent who at some point of time feels like giving up. I myself have taken strength from Nivedita many a times. May I now invite Nivedita Sengupta to share her and Medha's journey in brief and also read a few excerpts from the book. Post her talk, we'll have a question answer session where you're welcome to ask her any question you wish to. Over to you, Nivedita.
Namaste, everyone, and thank you so much, Preeti. Since you've already mentioned Medha, I would like to begin talking about her, sharing about her. But before that, I would like to share the life story in short in a PPT so that you get an idea about her.
एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निरपो निर्भय अकान मूरत अचूनी सपन कुरपसात जप आठ सच चुकाट सच एपी सच नानक ओसे पी सच सोचे सोच न ओफे चे सोचे नफ्तर चुपाय चुप न ओफे चे नार अनिफ्तर पुकया पुक न उतरे चे पन्ना पुर्या पर Se'esan panak ofe ta eknach nena kif sachiara uye kif kure tutepan ukum rachai channa nanak nikya nan fai kuruchita kansa fai kuruchita fate.
Thank you. So you must have got a slight idea about Medha. And Asha ma'am is here. She, during the struggles about 20, not 20, maybe 17, 18 years back, 17 years back, she told me every time I crossed a hurdle, she used to say, Niveta, you must write about it. You know, there are parents who will benefit. I didn't know, I had huge respect for her and for her suggestion. But definitely, I thought she doesn't understand how am I going to write a book. Now, this hurdle I just crossed, there will be another hurdle waiting for me. Where is the time and where is the energy? And I don't even know where I'm heading because there was no road. The road was being created regularly at every step. So, Auntie, when this book happened, I thought you would be the first person who would say, "Yay, this has happened." I never thought this would happen. And now that I have the privilege of talking about my story, I would like to say that everybody has a story to tell. And if we write down, each one of us gets somebody like Asha Auntie telling you to write your story and your struggles, I suppose we can learn so much from each other. So I'm really humbled that I got this opportunity. But, we'll all learn, I think. We try and we learn. We make mistakes, we fall, we get up and learn. So coming back to Medha's life, as Preeti already shared, that 28 years back, when she started, when she stopped speaking, suddenly regression happened. We didn't know. We thought it's not real. How is that she could speak now, she can't speak? So we started going to doctors back 28 years back, and nobody had a clue because the classic autistic factors, the main features of classic autism case were not present because she did have many features which suggested that she was not autistic. At the same time, this was quite surprising that this girl stopped speaking. And so back then we had no knowledge, very limited knowledge, no computer at home, no resources to learn from. And so all we could do is run to doctors, from one doctor to another doctor. And mostly they did look up in books to find out what was the case. So, one side we did get hope that if doctors are not able to find the reason, probably this is just a phase, something that will just get erased off and we will be back in normal life. But it didn't happen that way. So I'll read from this one excerpt from this stage of my life, when we finally met this doctor who said, she will never be normal like you and me. See, that sentence, when I just read now, it echoes. The psychologist told us. My reaction was immediate. How dare she say that? How can someone, she's not God, how can she say she'll never be normal like you and me? Medha is so young, she will grow up into a normal human being like us all. I was in complete denial at that moment. In fact, I was determined to prove her wrong. There was a lot of, whether it was anger, disbelief, I don't know, I think it was anger. Her words echoed in my ears for days that turned into months, till reality hit me and settled in my mind. But did I think for once that I would stop trying to reach her, teach her, so that she learned everything that the other children did? Would I stop providing her the opportunities and platforms for learning various skills? Would I give up on trying to make her as normal as possible? No. She must have said something which was true, but she cannot, no one can say that we can't try. No one can say how much we can achieve if we try. So that was the beginning. And since after some time, after maybe a year or so, I realized as guided by my speech therapist, she said that there is one way. You can keep on brooding, crying, and complaining and cribbing. Another is just pick up the points, pick up the areas of concern, find the solutions or the steps towards solving those concerns, and enjoy the goodness that she has or the talents that she portrays. I thought that was the only practical thing to do, and I tried doing that. In the sense, speech therapy, if it hadn't happened in the session, I knew 3 sessions in a week would do nothing. So I had to do it at home. So speech therapy had to happen every day. Special education, a few skills which needed to be taught had to happen every day. And everything had to happen in various situations, various environment. Because at home, we can't bring the world inside our home. We had to take her around, meet people, throw her into different situations and be there to help her. Because even I knew nothing. I was not born with the ability or the knowledge or would you say the courage. Even I didn't have that much courage, because only inch by inch the courage was, I was evolving probably. Then I had to do it, so I was doing it. So somehow courage was coming bit by bit, and life went on. Yes, people did say that. I don't think, if I remember so many times I heard, if this had happened in my house, in my home, I don't think I could have done it. But I wanted to say that when it really happens in your family to your child, probably you're the only person who can do it. So if ever I felt low, and you don't get immediate results. When you work with special child, you have to keep working because you want to do it, because you want to make that little difference whenever it comes. And so if you don't get result, after all, you are a human. After some time, you might feel that, oh God, when will she speak? When will she talk? Speech therapy is going on. We are doing it every day. Why is there no progress? There are times like that. And so when I was recollect, oh my God, this much I have done. I did this also, did that also. I was accountable towards my efforts. My husband would say, who else will do? Unless you do it, who else will do? In fact, he meant who else would do it better. So I had to do it better. And for whom? For my child. Okay. So if I can do better and better for my child, then how can anyone else define about anything about my child? How much she can progress, how much she can't progress? If I'll do the best, probably the result will show, because it is my hard work. So with that hope, I moved on. I definitely didn't know where I'm going to reach. And I definitely didn't remind myself again and again that she won't be normal. Because every time if I know that is going to not happen, then why would I try? No. So I left the destination. I tried to enjoy the journey. How did I enjoy the journey? Yes, I learned to celebrate whatever little happened. When she got into an inclusive setup school, like my school where she had passed out from, Sri Ram School in Gurgaon, that was itself a big achievement. When she started sitting inside the class, listening to the teacher, that was a huge achievement. And when I heard a few parents complaining that their daughter or son couldn't do this and that, I wondered if they understood, if they'd realize what a blessing it is when you have a normal child who can do many things without the efforts that I am having to put in for my daughter just to sit in the class and take one day at a time. So when these small achievements I could see, when I celebrated, I looked forward to another achievement. Like this, the school life went. And I didn't know that she would ever study. Though she could read very early in life, but I didn't know reading one thing and studying and continuing in school were not matching with each other. I didn't know whether she would ever pass class 10 or 12. So we did learn how to take baby steps towards goals which are not very big goals, small, short goals. So that way life went on, and God gave me a surprise in the form of another beautiful child, a child who's smiling there. This boy, my son, is in college now. And I had prayed to God, God, now that I know how to value a child's potential, now that I know what bringing up a child is, now that I know how to celebrate each and every little thing a child achieves, if you give me another child who does not need so much of effort, you just give me, and I'm going to give him the best. I'm going to do the best. I'm not going to ask my son if I have scored well in that. But son, I have tried my best to give you the best in terms of your values, in terms of opportunities. Whether I succeeded or not, that time will tell, but I tried my best. Preeti, you are a witness to that. I did make an effort to give him the best. And you understand what a blessing it is when, when I could see that for my daughter to stand on stage and perform even 1/100th of what other children were doing, it gives immense pleasure. And here was this boy who could sing, who could dance, who could act. So, God has been kind. He really rewarded me with much more that I had asked for. So my journey has been good. I am very, very grateful for what all I have received from him in terms of my 2 children. Because every time I learn so much through Medha and through my son, Rajit. That is all my journey. If anything I missed, Preeti, would you like me to share anything that I should have?
That was wonderful, Nivedita. But could you then read us a few more extracts, maybe a couple more, especially from the difficult times?
I'll see. As I had once told you that it becomes so difficult, one is as dear to the other. Medha was fascinated by words and letters at a very young age of 1 year and 4 months. Yes, 1 year and 4 months. She pointed at words and insisted that we read them out aloud, and she remembered them at the first go. This was amazing, and yet it was very confusing for us to relate to her unusual intelligence. We bought sets of plastic letters for her. She could compose around 500 words effortlessly without any spelling errors. We tried gathering knowledge on this by reading up to the internet and came across hyperlexia. This self-diagnosis somewhat matched with our child's present fascination. We realized that we were on the right track in terms of intervention. So our happiness, however, did not last too long. We faced another setback at this point. Medha suddenly stopped talking. So she had started reading. Very young age, even at 1.5 years, if a child doesn't talk, it's not alarming because she was uttering few meaningful words. But on the other side, she was reading so many words, so many words. And every day she learned so many words and she could spell those words. But she stopped speaking. Medha suddenly stopped talking. She became mute. Earlier, she was beginning to say mama and baba, but now she was quiet. Had she regressed a little? When we tried to coax her to speak, she would not show any interest or would simply walk away. The only sound she now made was ooh. And she pointed to certain things. She would point at what she wanted and try to say something but could not. As a mother, I could understand what she wanted, but this was not how we had expected things to turn out. Hyperlexia on the one hand, and on the other hand, no speech. It was a very confusing time for us. People made all sorts of diagnoses. Someone even suggested that she was possessed. I still remember we had shifted to this house and someone came home to find out what was the reason. And they said there were some कब्रिस्तान के ऊपर घर बन गया, इसीलिए something went inside her and this happened. So we had to go through all of this. This was way back in 95, 96. This was the initial stage. This was one of the times. You know, I was when my son started growing when he was small, I was little scared. How will he when he understands his sister is not like all of us, what will be his reaction? How will he accept? So the day came. Mama, is my sister a special needs child? What is the cure? You know, by that time when he asked this, he was a little boy. He knew अगर cough होता है ठीक हो जाता है, जुकाम होता है ठीक हो जाता है, दवाई खा के डॉक्टर के पास जाके, पेट दर्द होता है ठीक हो जाता है, बुखार ठीक हो जाता है. Similarly, he thought, by this time he was getting to know, since he was also going to the same school, which was an inclusive setup, he was getting an idea about special children, in the inclusive setup. So this was the question. I had this fear at the back of my mind. What will my answer be when my son asked this question one day? I remember how I felt while answering him, but I do not remember what I said to assure him. I somehow felt confident that with time he would gather knowledge and wisdom. He would grow up to be a sensible and sensitized brother. He began noticing his sister closely, trying to understand the areas which made her different or less than the rest of us. He had quite a few questions which I knew would be taken care of with time. This was another difficult, heartbreaking time for me. I would come back to 2 years, just 1 year back, when he wrote this poem on, when my book was about to be completed, I asked, will you write something for Medha? He wrote this poem within, I think, half an hour. It was so simple for him to do this. What is in her mind? This is a poem by Rajit, Medha's brother. What is on her mind, she cannot clearly say. She is my sweet sister, smiling every day. Her keen round eyes are so bright and clear. They hold no resentment, no nervousness or fear. Just like a computer, she reads super fast. She spells and she types, her prowess not surpassed. All her memories are at her beck and call. Every song she hears, she always can recall. She has certain moods. These moods come and go, but for whatever reason, she does not even know. Nonetheless, she smiles and brightens up my day. She kicks out all my problems. My worries go away. I wish her all the best to stay safe and strong. May she have a life happy, great, and long. Thank you. That was from.
That is beautiful, but also because a very challenging phase of life with a child with autism is adolescence. And I know personally that you've had a lot of ups and downs.
Yes.
I mean, I wouldn't say tenfold, but maybe 100-fold what other children would go through and what other parents would go through. So would you like to read us something from that age?
It'll be little, might take a little long for me to look for it. So I will talk about it. See, adolescent time when it came, this was when I was carrying Rajit. And I was told, I was asked to take bed rest. And here was a time, this moment suddenly I remembered, this was Guneet, I'm saying, Preeti, this was Vasant Vihar school where Preeti's daughter and my daughter Medha both were going to have their sports day. and sports would happen. And I was not allowed to even take one step, and I begged and begged and begged to my gynecologist that, it's a huge thing that my daughter would be participating in sports day, and she would be running. So my gynecologist was in a state of, dilemma. If I don't let her go to watch this, those days the Zoom and these things were not there. No, this is way back. This was 2004. So I said, if I don't allow her, the anxiety can cause a problem. And if I allow her, there can be another, because some placenta problem was there. I was in huge risk. But, somehow she had to allow me, and I went there, and it was very risky, but still I went. And I remember the joy. I wanted to run to her when she participated in the race, and she ran the whole, what do you call that path, that race team. So this is the time, this was happiness, but slowly she started having anxiety, and that anxiety would come and go, not so much. Then she got her PCOD, polycystic ovary. So I did ask God. Then I did run to to temples, now going to all the temples. Autism was one thing, something that I had to fight each day. I'm ready to fight with autism, but I'm ready to work with autism side by side. I'm ready to partner with autism, but why another thing like PCOD? PCOD is another challenge altogether. Heavy menstruation, then premenstrual syndromes, then medication for that, which caused further anxiety. Medication to control PCOD caused more anxiety. Then medicine had to be given to reduce that anxiety. It was a vicious cycle. And we didn't know where I was going wrong, whether I was going wrong or the doctor was going wrong, whether the medicine, doctor, and autism, they were together as a jigsaw puzzle. We are constantly trying to fit the puzzle together. And it was not one day, it was every day. It was very difficult. It was very difficult. If one day she had a good day, we gave a gratitude prayer to God. We prayed to God saying that, okay, today the day went well. Her health is okay. Her mood is okay. But slowly things improved. And she had to take a break from school because her anxiety went high. And I switched over to homeopathy. That took care for some time. Not always did it take care. So I had to balance from homeopathy, allopathy, and exercise, daily exercise, post-meal walking, and things like that. So it was in addition to challenges of autism.
Right. And I think a number of parents here can identify with that stage. I see a couple of them nodding their heads.
Okay.
Because we all, there are children with autism. There are parents here who have children on the spectrum, and some of them are adolescents, and they've been through this stage. Today, how does it feel, Nivedita?
With respect to health, or generally on the whole? You
Let's say your anxiety levels vis-a-vis 10 years ago or 15 years ago, or even 20 years ago and now?
Yes. So Preeti, answering that, what I say that we've come a long way, and at times when I go back to such sessions where I'm going back to those months and years of struggle, I feel that if then I could handle, if then we could move forward and come to this level, then we can continue still. Now, things shall pass is that which I have started believing in it, because I have witnessed it, that if a difficult time came, that did pass. What needed to be done can be done. If I made a mistake, I can try another way to, another strategy. to address that. So I feel more confident when I look back. Anxiety still happens. Here is a person who is now aware. Medha is aware of her anxiety. We have found ways of distracting ourselves, calming ourselves down. Medication is continuing. We have made these our regular routine of taking care of ourselves on a regular basis through regular exercise and maybe chanting, gratitude, writing, all the good things that happen. These I'm talking about Medha. Medha has learned to do these things. So we are learning and we have learned. If we have come this far, we'll continue to move. That is how I feel now.
So I think that smile now, then we need another excerpt from the book where it was a happy time, where there was a sense of achievement.
So I'll look for it. Which one?
For the benefit of the audience, may I mention that this book is available on Amazon, and we'll put the link in the chat. So if any of you are interested, you can pick this book up. I have read and reread and given it to a lot of parents to read also. And it just gives you a ray of hope. Yes.
This is the book, how it looks. And maybe Tilak can, if Tilak is around. Are you here, Tilak? Tilak is my husband. If he's here, I can put the link on the chat if you want. So I
Yes,
would
Tilak,
like,
could you do that, please?
I would like to go to a note of gratitude, which is chapter 45. So I want to mention something here, very, very important. Here I've spoken about me, Medha, and my family. But I want to say one thing. I have been really blessed to have friends like Preeti. Friends is friend a small word? I think not an adequate word here. You know, a friend, someone who has understood me, my feelings and my pain, before I realized that she has understood. Like she went one step ahead. She probably knew I could manage A, B, C, D challenges before I knew I could. People have praised me, encouraged me, but she knew and understood me before I could. So now when there are book talks or telling people about my achievements, I don't think her pleasure is any less than my pleasure. Her satisfaction is any less than my satisfaction. So I am very blessed to have persons and angels like her in my life. She's one of them who is present here. There are some more friends who have always supported me in some way or the other. I'll say some small things like initially, if I got an invitation with my daughter, I felt very good. There are friends who probably would have done it without calling us. Why get into any jhamela? But they took that extra trouble, extra effort to call us. That friend is not here with me. That is another friend. Her name is Seema. Like that, I have many friends here in my life. Not today, right from the journey. When my husband was posted in Kolkata and in Pune, I had to take my daughter for MRI. It was not easy to go for MRI and things like that. But it became very smooth. It wasn't easy, but the pain became less because there were people like Preeti, a few more friends who arranged for everything and went with me. So I'm blessed. And so I like to read a few things from my book. Before I read, I would like to also, she is not here with me right now, Gayatri, who's my help, who has helped me right from the beginning when this little boy was born. So I could give my best quality time to this boy and to my daughter and to my family and to my mother and to my husband and to my friends. So I am filled with gratitude towards all my friends and family who have helped me at every step in different ways. If a friend I needed to call and talk to regarding my anxiety, regarding my worries for my son, I had someone. I had three to four people in my list favorite where I could call up. So I feel I'm so blessed to have such people in my life. We read spiritual books and quotes, listen to talks and sermons. One thing that works like magic with me is gratitude. Be it while writing my daily journal at night or planning my day in the morning, when I begin counting my blessings, they overshadow my tired soul's complaints. Right from my daughter's infancy through preschool, junior school, middle school, high school, and workplace, I came across kind souls, not a few, but many. That's exactly I was sharing. Our full-time help and my daughter's caretaker, Gayatri, has been our lifeline. She has been with us for the last 20 years. She has understood my daughter, felt for her, learned to deal with her challenges, and managed to help her with her daily routine for so many years. In other words, she has become a hands-on special educator. She is completely trustworthy. It is her presence in our family that has given us parents the freedom and courage to go to rejuvenating holidays and take breaks away from home. It is only human for her to get tired and at times fed up with my child's tantrums, obsessive behavior, few unreasonable demands, and other special challenges. It hurts me to witness that, but that pain is very small. That pain is very small in front of her contributions, sacrifice, and devotion to our family. I have learned to see this reality and accept it, work around it, and guide my full-time help in subtle ways with a positive approach. Gratitude.
That I guess anyone here would agree with, everyone would agree with rather, that it's very important to have a very, very strong and caring support system. And thank you, Nivedita, for that wonderful talk and taking us through your journey. Or, of course, if anyone's interested, the details are in the book. And Nivedita, as a person, is also open to calls, to meeting in person, and receiving messages. And she's ready to help, go out of her way even to help anyone who needs that hand holding at any point in their journey with their children. May I now open the house to questions from the audience? Would somebody like to ask a question?
Yes, Nivedita, I'd like to ask a question.
Yes,
So,
please.
you have described in your book that anger, disbelief, and denial were your initial reactions to Medha's diagnosis. And this is all very normal for any parent who's been, told that your child has special needs. So, what would be your advice to parents of newly diagnosed children with special needs?
I have learned through the years that one has to go through those feelings. Running away from feelings has never helped. Running away from feelings have never helped. I would say, like, I still remember the day I couldn't watch any serials. If a serial had people doing regular things, dancing, singing, even getting married, when this reality came in front of me, and I was slowly getting used to it, that what if it is true? What if this is really going to happen? Which means my daughter is not going to be normal. That means she'll never get married. Oh, that means that she'll not do things like these that normal serials and movies they show. So she'll not have dreams like I did. So, one must and one has to go through these feelings. Running away never helps. The moment, that was the feeling when I got to she'll not be. That is like, I don't want to believe it. That time it was, no, she can't be true. But now I understand the thought behind that feeling is that I don't want to believe it. I hope it is not true. I hope something happens, some miracle happens, and I get up in the morning and I see that she's fine. And you won't believe when you get, at that time I always prayed because I didn't know autism. So I prayed, God, please, I will do anything for you, but make me okay, make my daughter okay. And you won't believe, even till date, when I close my eyes to pray, that prayer comes in the beginning. So I let that prayer go. So what I mean to say is that when you go through a certain feeling of denial, anything, you must go through the feeling. Feel the feeling, actually, what I feel. This I have realized with age, with some wisdom, I have understood that no point running away from something. Because if you run away, if you don't face it, you can't find the solutions to dealing with the problem. That is what I can say, if I'm clear in what I'm saying.
Yes, it's so very true. What you're saying is like, how if the river is flowing one side, you cannot stand in between and expect that the river flow will change. You will have to flow with it.
Yes.
Yes, very, very true. And what is the best thing that you can do is what you should be doing.
Yes.
And that's what you have done.
Life has to go on. Yes, life has to go on. It's the choices that you make and the strategies you pick and the learnings you have through your mistakes.
Yes.
Or through the experiences.
Yes. And I also understand from what you're saying, just comes to my mind that, when parents take time to accept it and they're living in denial, it's like, you are in the river, but you're forcing the river flow to go in the opposite side. And which takes in so much of stress, so much of burden, so much of, effort. And you don't see anything coming out of it except for being disappointed and upset and angry and depressed.
Most importantly, Minaz, a whole lot. We know the brain develops the most within 6-7 years, or early 6-7 years, and that valuable time is gone. I always believed that, in Delhi, we had this Appu Ghar. I realized that when I went to Appu Ghar, if I go today and buy a ticket, it is valid only for today. I can't use it tomorrow. Similarly, I realized that what I can do today, I can't do tomorrow. So why waste the time? If she needs to speak, to learn to speak, we have to teach her to learn to speak. It's not happening normally. A very simple thing. If it could happen normally, it would have. If it's not happening, means there is something. And for that something, we have to do something. And why waste the time? If I need to do something for my child, which she requires, why waste the time? One thing I am very happy with myself is that I don't look back saying, wish I had done that. I have no repentance. So for that not to happen, I think we have to use every moment. So sometimes I go overboard. When my son, when he grew up, he said, Mama, it's okay at times if you don't do anything. I said, thank you, Rajit, for teaching me this. So he would be the one who's to stop. He would teach me to pause, which is so, so required. It is so, so important. Just a second. Yes, I'm so sorry. The phone rang. So what I would say that we waste time, we suffer, we make people around us suffer, and not just time, also the child's growth gets hampered. Growth as in mental, emotional, everything that gets hampered. So I believe that it's only a loss. The quicker you get up and dust yourself and start moving, the better it is for you, for your child and family.
That was such a very simple and wonderful analogy that you gave about the validity of Apugar's ticket. I mean, so simple, and everyone should remember that. And that also reminds me of what my mentor, Cecilia Coester, the founder of MBL, says, that, always be in solution. And that is what you have been.
Thank you. It was like, it came to my mind. In those days, I was taking my daughter to Apughar. And, when it was a good day, she enjoyed the ride and did. I said, I'm so happy. I was staring the ticket and this thought came to my mind. Good, this day went well. Had I not come feeling scared, what if she doesn't enjoy? What if she if she feels scared and cries, this day will go. I made use of that day. This chance wouldn't come again.
Right. True. Rajit, I would like to ask you a question.
Right.
I have done my master's in special education, also bachelor's, and we always hear about and we read about researches about siblings of a special needs child. As a sibling of a child with special needs, how would you say was your journey with her? Because we read about, a sibling is given less time because more time of parents goes supporting the child with special needs. So what would you have to say with that about your journey growing up with your sister?
Yes, so as I was growing up, I obviously noticed that my mom would give much more time to my sister than she would give to me. And it would bother me, and I would be jealous of how much time she was giving to her. But eventually, my mom once told me that when you have two legs and one of them is injured, obviously you need to give extra attention and extra care to that leg. And that doesn't mean that one of the legs is not as important as the other. It just means that the injured leg deserves some more care, some more help. And that's the only reason she has to spend some more time with her, and also, make it so that she can for her well-being and for things to go well.
I must say that your mother comes up with wonderful analogies, and I think the next book she should write is about the analogies, because even that's going to be very helpful for everyone to understand. Thank you, Rajit.
We have a question from the audience. Parul wants to know, Nivedita, what is your daughter doing nowadays? Did she go to an inclusive school setup, and how was the learning experience?
Yes. So I have been mentioning during my when I was speaking, she did go to the inclusive setup long back. She spent 14 years there. So in that inclusive setup, it was such that academics, since the children learned in different ways, they had small groups, they had learning centers. In that, supposing somebody with dyslexia and ASD, like Medha was in autism spectrum. So there were groups like this, mixed groups, and academics were taken care of in those small setups, and co-curricular activities happened together. So social skills, emotional skills, life skills were taught in that way, in bigger groups. But academics and other skills which needed more finer attention, they were taught in this way. Then she did her NIUS, National Open Schooling. She did with subjects like catering management, bakery, home science, English, data entry, things like that. So she cleared till class 12. She did well, quite well. After that, because she has been reading very early, she started reading so well. So that was a strength which were used for her to learn, remember, and sit for exams. So we thought of using that again for her profession. And a very good friend of mine, special educator, she had suggested that why not library? But I had no clue what would she do in library. But now after she finished her grade 12 through NIVS, she was good with her data entry. Always she could read very well. Spellings didn't need to be taught. So we gave her chance, exposure to library, where she started listing and again typing them and saving on Excel. So that way she learned these skills. When she learned these skills, then another friend suggested, why not do a course on library science? So from NIVS, we did library science course of 1.5 years. And we've done that. We got the certificate also. And she's working there as an assistant librarian, where she's issuing books, returning books, and stock taking, doing entries, and alphabetizing books, doing due date slips, sticking the due date slips, and a few more things, which do not involve too much of talking and too much of conversation, because those are difficult areas.
This is something I can vouch for also, because after she completed her, she graduated from school, when Medha graduated from school, I remember some people telling Nivedita, get her into vocational training now. And Nivedita, I think that was the first time I saw you being irritated with anyone. And you said, no, I know her strengths and she can do something different. Thank you for that answer, Nivedita. I have another question from Deepika. How did you handle other people who stared at your child? Means, how did you handle when she was out in a social situation? How did you handle the situation or handle Medha?
Okay, so at different stages, the challenges were different. When she was young, like many hyperactive children and children with autism who get into their own zone, own world, and they just run to and fro, she could be ignored. Like people do think that, okay, ye badmash bachcha and all that. So that helped. But when she started growing up and she started doing that restlessness things, heads did turn. Now, heads turned. So at that situation, I held her hand and we started walking. Or in that situation, I distracted her, where people are turning heads or something. But if she's doing something funny and people are laughing, funny in the sense something weird, not funny exactly for her, it is probably normal, and people are laughing, then at times probably I just look at them and I look at her and I said, see, they are not finding, the other people are not liking what you're doing, or probably then it is not something that we should do. Let's do it that way. So I never walked away thinking, what will people think? And if they're not helping me, let me help, or helping her. So very minimal role they are playing in life, right? So let me teach her through that. And when she started understanding these conversations, then I started, then it helped her again not to repeat that, not maybe the next time, that particular weird behavior in society. So what I mean to say, that I spoke about it there and then. And if something she did, some behavior which raised an eyebrow,
Very good.
I
Write it on
sure,
cursive. I
made sure that I went to that same situation again and again till she understood how to behave. Did I answer this question which was asked? Sorry, ma'am. Preeti, you are on mute.
Yeah. I was just going to ask her, does that answer your question? Deepika?
Sorry, maybe she can't hear or something. So for me, that solution is that if any situation is making the heads turn, we need to teach the skill to that child and go back to this situation again and again till your child learns how to behave.
True. Thank you so much for that, Nivedita. I have another question here from Ishita. But before that, may I request you all to unmute yourselves if you have a question, or raise your hand and we'll get to you. So you can ask her directly instead of typing it out in the chat box. If you're comfortable doing that, it's fine with us, whatever you're comfortable with. Ishita wants to know, how did you and your family create a supportive and inclusive environment for your child? Are there specific strategies or activities that had a positive impact on your child's development or well-being?
Okay, Dr. Ishita. Uh, inclusive, see, I had my friends, and I understood many friends, they came forward and I discussed my daughter's challenges with them. I had one-on-one discussions with them. We had one-on-one home visits also with them. For them to understand Medha, for me to understand their difficulties. So it can't happen. It can't happen one way, because if a friend is coming forward who does not have an autistic child, I'm more than happy, more than blessed to get that opportunity. So I have to get into that person's shoes to understand what difficulties she might have if my child goes there and maybe make a mess or something. So I had those one-on-one chats with my friends who came forward and joined us. I went for parties. I hosted parties at home. Luckily, I had a whole lot of sensitive and understanding and kind souls as my friends. This is how it worked. I don't remember people backing out also, but also some people did say this is an occasion where I would not be calling children, I would be calling only adults. So there I did not take my daughter. But in family get-togethers, I made sure my daughter went. I made sure that she enjoyed. I made sure that she did not trouble or create trouble for others. At times, if I failed, I made sure to apologize. Does that answer your question?
Ishita, does it
Yes,
answer your
ma'am.
question?
Thank you so much for answering my question. Your story is really very inspiring for everyone. Actually I'm an occupational therapist, and there are many mothers from my clinic who have joined today. And I'm sure that after hearing your story, they are feeling very motivated. And actually parental participation and also accepting their problems is a big thing. So I'm sure that they are feeling very motivated, and now they're going to take this journey as it's coming, and they're going to go with the flow, and they will keep on trying hard, and they will keep the faith. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ishita. That definitely is a high point that you mentioned. Should we give David? Yes, Shelja.
I have a question for Rajat.
Hmm.
Rajat, you come across as a beautiful and so calm is your composure. I want to ask you, being in this process, what has been your contribution in terms of Medha, and how have you seen that transform as changes within you from what you were, and what has this journey made you to do?
Spending time with Medha Didi has been really helpful for me to develop my patience and being more considerate, more empathetic, and definitely given me a better understanding of how people can think differently and understand things very differently from you. And you've always got to keep that in mind when you're even talking to anyone, be it neurodivergent or not. So understanding my sister's perspective as something that's very different to our own perspective really opens up your mind and really makes you realize that the world can be seen in many different ways. And I have been spending time with her in terms of drawing, singing, exercising. So in that aspect, I really felt that we had a good bonding experience. And doing things with her really made me very happy to be spending time with her. Yeah.
And what has been your contribution in Medha's journey towards your
My
parents and
contribution.
towards Medha?
I mean, my contribution isn't as great as my mom's contribution. She has been the main forerunner of everything. She has been helping my sister out in every single scenario. But I guess my main contribution would be the fact that I spend time with her exercising or maybe drawing, trying to explore her creative side. And like I've basically trying to I've been trying to help her draw better and understand how how to actually copy things from a picture and like understand the proportions and things, because sometimes she makes very odd drawings, like maybe making a face this big and the body this small. So that sort of thing is very funny, but I've been trying to teach her how to fix that. And this sort of thing really is entertaining and also a lot of fun to understand how she thinks differently.
I think that's something for all of us to think different, and the thing is what we all can take back from these kids. They bring to us something that which is, I mean, we are like this, they are like this. So
Exactly.
that's a lot for us to learn as well. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you, Rajat, for sharing.
Thank you for the question.
True. Nivedita, if no one's raising their hand, I have another question that came in just now. It says, how do you approach setting goals for your child that are both meaningful and achievable, given her challenges?
Okay. Firstly, thank you, Preeti, for this question. Firstly, I'll come into the health issue, and obesity is priority. So here, to keep her happy, we do have to give her one junk food. Okay, that can't be compromised on, but we have restricted that to one junk food. And every time we are reiterating the fact that junk food is bad for health, and that will cause more obesity, and obesity will make you tired, and you will not be able to go on holidays and parties and all that. So that is there in the mind. So she doesn't ask for two junk foods in a day. Number one. Number two, exercise has been the importance of exercise has also been drilled into her head again and again, that one kind of exercise has to be done every day. This is another thing that she's used to, so that I don't have to work on, because this has been going on in her counseling journal every day. So I make a counseling 2 pages every day. In that, I include how the day is going to be like. So she's more or less prepared and prepared for the day, and with some flexibility. This might happen, this may not happen. So she's prepared for that uncertainty as well. So during that time, that exercise is put in. So there's no compromise on exercising or not exercising, crying or anything, but exercise has to happen. This is a goal that has been set for her health, for obesity. Now, coming to her challenges of crying and weeping at times, we do write every day. Today is a beautiful day. We are going to be happy today, and we will manage our moods. So manage our moods. When we feel sad, what can we do? We will just see the phone and distract ourselves, or maybe we'll just write something. For that, a small pad is with her all the time. So just she can write anything. And what can be written is also the choices are given. So this happens, and the conversation diary is always there every day. What is happening, what didn't happen, and why didn't it happen? And these things like that are always there. This is, like a regular routine every day. So goal, I would say, like for instance, we are going to visit him in London, and it's going to be very cold there. Also, we will not have any car and taxi and auto. We'll have to do a lot of walking. So this is a short-term goal that I have just set this goal we are going in Jan. So this month, I've told her, since we are going to London and we'll have to do a lot of walking, we are going to practice 30 minutes to 45 minutes of walk. We'll start with 30 minutes. So we are starting it tomorrow. So these short-term goals are, so instead of going to the gym days will be converted to walking days. So we are prepared. This preparation helps. So she also asked Mama which day she's going to school, which day she's not going to school. So now she's asking questions. So preparations are helping her to handle her anxiety to a large extent. If I could answer your question, this daily information exchange is helping.
Well, I guess throughout life, these preparations will not be, you will not be able to get rid of these preparations. They will have to happen short term, long term, all of them. And on a daily basis, I think
Yes,
will
daily
still be
basis.
necessary. Only thing from where you've come and where you are today, you're both handling them together.
Yes,
It
yes.
was more of a struggle earlier. Yeah, I think
Yes,
Shelja
yes.
wants to
Now
say
she
something.
understands so much more. So it is, I just script these planning and things. So she's doing it, the conversation and all that. Even I ask her, give me some questions. She's more comfortable writing the questions. She does that on her own. So her doubts are coming out now.
Uh-huh. I think Shelja wants to say something. Yes, Shelja.
So you emphasized on her exercising and movement being a big part of her. Would you also, in your journey, have come across something where movement-based learning, in the sense of what Breakthroughs has to offer, or art-based therapy, or things like that, or a culmination of all of this together, does that play a good role, or does that have a significant bearing?
See, now she's 29. All these therapies were not there when she needed the most. So how my approach towards life then, towards autism, was that I will go through the normal lane, okay, and create strategies with help of kind souls around who came forward. There is Anuradha ma'am. Preeti knows very well, dance ma'am. She was a regular person, regular teacher, but she learned, created, and discovered strategies to help her teach Medha dancing. So when I went to a regular trainer for swimming, that person could teach any normal person swimming. But he observed Medha, saw the enthusiasm and the burning need in me to teach Medha swimming when she was so small. So he discovered strategies to teach her swimming. You're understanding? Then way back, 25 years back, we didn't have so many therapies. So I had to like kind of sometimes bargain, sometimes threaten, because I'm not always so nice, like how I talk, but I have to do. भैया, अगर आपकी अपनी बेटी होती तो क्या आप छोड़ देते? Probably say these kind of dialogues to bring that inner
Emotion, maybe that inner
yes.
desire, yes.
And it was not
Nivedita is
with
a fine actor.
I think all's fair when you want your purpose. So I am with Nivedita there.
Yeah, because that acting, my husband is बहुत कम बोलता है. He would be also smiling now behind, say, हमें पता है कितना acting करते हैं. So thing is that it comes naturally. So the dialogues come naturally. Yes, auntie? हाँ जी, auntie बोलिए. Oh, somebody's...
It's all fair in love and war.
Yes, and all for your child.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for your child, you can go to any extent, right? Thank you, Sujata. If you're talking about this, what do you say? Acting and getting the best out of people emotionally, yes. But, like jokes apart, that time I was not acting. It came naturally towards me that आप क्यों बोल रहे ये नहीं सीख पाएंगे. आप ट्राई करके तो देखिए, अगर ये आपकी बेटी होती तब कोशिश करते ना. बस एक चीज कीजिए, मेरी बेटी ड्राउन नहीं होना चाहिए. वो नहीं कर सकते आप, क्योंकि आप सेवर है, वो पानी में डूबना नहीं चाहिए. बाकी कुछ भी कर लीजिए, सिखाना तो आपको है. सो ऐसा चैलेंज किया. I trust me, she learned swimming. She started floating. She went down to get I remember going to get something she had dropped to the swimming pool ke niche tak. She went down and she vanished and came up. Oh my God. Yeah, those things.
My heart started sinking.
Yes. And believe me, I couldn't swim. That is the best part. And then when she went down, after that dialogue delivery, that trainer had also gone down. Because I told him that वो डूबना नहीं चाहिए बिल्कुल, चाहे कुछ भी हो जाए. तो वो गायब हुई, वो भी गायब हुआ, दोनों ही आ गए ऊपर. So, I found strategies. All these therapies I didn't know. They were not available. So she has done dancing, and now on some days when it's raining, she's the happiest if her trainer day, that is a trainer day, Sinoj, he's the trainer, is not coming. She's the happiest. She will put on music, which is Bollywood ke exercise music hai, Bollywood workout something, Deepti. She's in Germany. So she will put on that music and dance. So that she's taken. Some kind of exercise has to be done. So I was more into these kind of gross
I
motor
think maybe
skills.
you have given us all the inspiration and made this into a science, maybe, which is what is available today in different ways. But it's all, I think the basic point is it all helps, and you developed it. Today it's ready-made for people.
Yeah, I developed because I had to do it for my daughter. I couldn't care less. That's
Very true, Sharja. It's like you said, Nivedita, you had to do it for your daughter. So you managed it and you came up with new stuff to do. And, all those, like I said earlier also in this workshop, every therapy, every modality that was mentioned, I've seen Nivedita do it. And those are now today accepted therapies. Okay, let's give Nivedita a moment's rest while I pose a question to Ashanti. Would you like to ask a question?
No.
Okay. So, yes, Parul. Yes, Parul.
Ma'am, Nivedita ma'am, thank you for such a beautiful session. One question, what keeps you motivated? Just the love for your daughter, true, but one minute. But what else? I mean, as a human being, we go through mental breakdown. Honestly, we have our points where we go down and we think, ab kuch nahi hoga, we are stuck. But what keeps you it's been a journey of such a long life. कैसे चलते रहे आप? आपका सोसाइटी प्रेशर देख के टूटने का मन नहीं किया कि एक पॉइंट पे मैं रुक जाऊं, मैं कुछ करते हैं ना, मतलब एक पॉइंट आता है,
आपको पता नहीं है कितने बैंडेजेस है मेरे पास, कितनी बार टूटती हूँ मैं. I have broken.
I know.
क्या मैजिक निकाला है कि आप मैनेज कर पाए हो, बस मैं वो मैजिक ट्रिक बता दो, क्योंकि ऑनेस्टली मेरा भी बेटा 7 साल का है और मेरे पास एक छोटा बच्चा है, he is 3 months, तो मैनेज करना इट्स रियल टफ. कैसे किया है?
मैनेज मत करो ना, एंजॉय करो. मैनेज मत करो, एंजॉय करो. सोचो कि हमें करना है. अच्छा, ऐसा है, जोक्स अपार्ट, कंपार्टमेंटलाइज करो. Because I have to spend time with my 84-year-old mother. Okay, at this point, even she is lonely. Even she feels like a small baby. So how do I do it on a busy day? It's so difficult to spend time with her because I give priority to my time, my own time. And you will laugh what I do for myself. No one knows. Rajit, would you like to guess what I do for myself every day?
I know what you do, but you can say it yourself.
No, you say. You're laughing a lot. Say.
She watches some Pakistani drama serials.
There. Okay, dear Parul, find your time, me time. Shelja, my counselor, always said, दूसरों को पानी पिलाओगे, पहले पानी तो भर लो. Again, Minaz will say, this is another example of that. अरे खुद नहीं खुश रहेंगे तो दूसरों को कैसे खुश करेंगे? और खुश रहने के लिए खुद के लिए टाइम निकालना है. I find time to go and buy. मैंने कुछ भी तो नहीं, मैं जाके आईब्रो करके आ जाती हूँ, उसमें भी मुझे खुशी मिलती है. आईब्रो किया, एक आइसक्रीम खरीदा, the same shop में probably जाके एक डियो खरीदा. Sometimes every day, sometimes you have to, some time of every day, you have to find time for yourself. Now, how will you find time? You have to have a support. Either somebody in the family, either a full-time help or 2 part-time helps. It is expensive affair for us. It is. We buy 1 sari instead of 4 saris, but we need that help. We need those 4 extra hands. Not for anything, for safety of your children, you go out, maybe for a coffee, maybe for a movie, maybe for going out having puchka, golgappa, or for your facial or a pedicure. finding time for yourself. So earlier I was younger. I didn't need to put a kajal or comb my hair so many times and hide my all this, what do you call those
Yes.
dark, what do you call those spots, bald spots, all that I didn't have to do so much. So I would go join one singing group or go and sing in a dance for some program, go for those practice time, and immense amount of support and encouragement from my husband in this aspect, because he, I think, wanted a happier wife also, not a cribbing and complaining wife, because he also thought that अगर बच्ची को कुछ कराना है तो मेरी बीबी कर सकती है ये, before she goes mad, rather I give him permission and push her out of the house to go for singing classes or dancing classes. Tilak, if you are hearing and if you are agreeing, please say something. Are you there, Mr. Sengupta? I think he fell asleep listening to all
No,
our
I'm
talks.
here. I was here.
Yes.
I'm on the phone, so I could not quickly unmute myself.
Okay,
I've
do
done
you
that.
agree? Do
I
you
thought-
agree
I
that
thought Rajesh was going to say about the ram thing, the bottle of ram.
this is a
No, no.
decent group?
Okay, all right,
Preeti,
whatever.
kuch to karo. Acha, listen. What Tilak, coming to it, he never stopped me from helping me to participate in musical programs and all that. Those were breathers for
That's
me.
true. Yeah.
Parul, it was Parul's question, right?
Right.
Parul, that is something. So if it was these singing, dancing for me, it can be something else for you. It can be going out for something else, or meeting your relatives, or going to meet your friends. So find that comfort zone and make it a routine for yourself. 1 or 2 ways of entertaining yourself, giving you that time. And I've been doing it right from the beginning. I didn't have a full-time help initially. I couldn't afford one. But we had to cut down other expenses. We never went on holidays because we needed that full-time help to give that breather to us. So that is very important. You find your own way of giving breather to yourself, but that is very, very much required so that you come back happier. So when I come back from school, when after a hectic day, I immediately say hi to my mother, hi to my daughter. I go to my room and spend some time with myself, watch TV, lie down, and come refreshed to spend time with my daughter. So this I'm doing now because my energy level is so much less. Earlier I had a lot of energy whole day. That I don't have now. But that me time is much required. I hope I made some sense, Parul. Sorry, you are on mute, Parul.
Yes, indeed, ma'am. Me time is important. Indeed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tilak,
Yeah,
since you've surfaced, can I ask you a question now? Tilak?
He's
Yes,
again
just
on
one.
phone.
Yeah. Actually,
you
no,
sh-
I'm not. Yeah, I was actually traveling in a car,
Okay.
so I have to go muting off and on. Tell me.
Okay. Now, what I think is that a father thinks very differently from how a mother thinks. A mother's more emotional, a father would be more practical. And thinking about Medha's future, what doubts did you have initially, and where do you stand today vis-a-vis those thoughts?
So basically, what she would be doing going forward in terms of keeping us engaged in some activity or the other, because she couldn't do too many normal things when she was a kid. But slowly she built up her capabilities on vocabulary and library science and so on. So that part is being taken care of, sort of, so she's doing something productive and useful in the library. And people like her work, and they've praised her a lot. So I think that part is what I was talking about.
Preeti, you're on mute.
So you feel today Medha is in a better position?
New challenges are there, but we had the things we had earlier challenges and all that. Those are taken care of, I think. So things will come up. It's not a very smooth journey still. So we'll have newer stuff to deal with, newer challenges and newer issues and all that. But I
Right.
think we'll handle them as we have done them so far.
True. Does anyone have a question for Tilak?
I
And I
would
see-
request, yes, I would
see
request,
Medha's aunt also here. Yes, sorry,
Yes.
Nivedita.
yeah, Bua.
Yes.
Rupa is Medha's Pishi, Pishi Bua, I mean Tilak's sister, joined from Bharuch. I don't know if she would like to share something or Preeti would like to ask her. She's been closest in our family and Medha has been very dear to her.
Rupa, in a few words, if you could sum up the journey as you've seen Medha from birth to now. You've seen Nivedita and Tilak and Rajesh work with her.
You're on mute, Rupa. Didi Bhai, you're on mute.
Please unmute yourself, Rupa. Yes.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Please, can you repeat your question, please?
I said you've
Yeah.
been the closest to the family, not per se the immediate family, but you've been
Yeah.
closest to the family.
Yes,
Could
yes.
you summarize what you feel, what you saw, what you see Medha's journey as?
Yeah, it's though I have not been with her, yeah, with the family, physically, but always I've been. Juma has been. I call her Juma, and Juma always used to share her ordeals or what journey with me. Firstly, from writing letters and then on phone. So I have always been a silent supporter, and I have always wished that she would. I knew that she will find a way, though I could not help her physically, but I have always supported her mentally, and I have seen Medha growing up from a little, I would say, awkward and sometimes weird, as she mentioned, Juma mentioned, weird, some what to say, but nowadays when I go to Delhi and meet her, I can see her a big transformation from the initial stages, and now she is quite confident, and I think it's been a beautiful journey with help by Medha, and always I can mention Rajit Ribhu, as we call him. He has been always a support to her. I have seen how he has been a big support, and always correcting her or supporting her, and what to say. And it's been a beautiful journey. And when I went to the book launch of this Jhuma, I was really, really, what to say, pleased. And I don't know. I'm not much into conversation and words. So it's been a beautiful journey, and all because of, I must say, Nivedita, and supported by Dada, of course, and her friends in Delhi and Gurgaon, and her school friends, etc. And we have been supporting her mentally, but physically we couldn't do anything. Not much we could do. But yes, I always, my daughters also supported her, and that's it.
Thank you so much. Your words,
Thank you,
more than
Didi
your
Bhai.
words, I think your emotions and feelings
Yes.
came
Yeah.
through and told us
Yes.
a lot
Yeah.
more.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
I see Suhant has raised his hand. Suhant, would you like to ask a question?
Yeah, hi.
Okay, she.
Sorry, I attended the call lately, but I was into have seen the conversations and opinions down. I'm only my concern was like some days was quite busy in your life, like when you have a small baby or sudden things happen. So how you may be consistent to do the exercises without the extra help? I'm saying, like even even having the full-time helper, my son don't listen to the helper. So he always play with her, like he give him some task or anything. She can't manage him. So I have to be with him because I'm so scared. Like he knows that I can scratch her. She can't do anything. So most of the time I can't leave her with the other person other than my husband. Only my husband and me can manage him. So my only question, like how you are managing to be consistent, like every day doing some exercise with the kid.
How old is your child?
He's 8-year-old, ma'am.
Okay, so when I go 8 years of age, yes, that time I had one child because there is a lot of gap between both my children. So I have given one-on-one for a long time. I could give a total individualized attention to Metha, my daughter. My son came at after 11 and a half years. So by that time, many things she could do on her own. So right now you have 2 children or you have 1 child?
2 children. One
Okay.
girl is 3-year-old. Yeah.
She is regular. She is mainstream.
Yeah, she's good, ma'am. She's going playgroup.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So you mostly, what you do you have other sessions also taking place for your child? Other therapies and things happening?
Yes, ma'am. I started him giving therapy from 3-year-old.
Okay.
But the problem it's not regular. Only weekly once I can get the sessions. It's not helpful much. Yeah.
No, once weekly, nothing is helpful.
Yes,
nothing
yes.
is helpful. It's like taking bath weekly. It's
Yes.
as bad as that. Again, I give an example and Minas will give a laugh. I knew. So, this is every day. Doing first and foremost, what are the areas I need to work on? Okay. Supposing you identify 5 areas you need to work on. In the 5 areas, what are the things I need to be done? Need to be done. In those areas, ask your husband which one can he help with. For example, reading out a story. Just an example I'm giving. That is what he does well with your child, okay? So that work he needs to do every day and a time has to be given for that. No matter what, that work is assigned to your husband. And similarly, 5 to 6 things which are needed to be done for your child who needs the child who needs help, 8-year-old child. Those are the timings you give. Those are the areas which will not be intervened by you. Those areas will be taken care of by the therapist, your husband, or any other help that you have, who are able to take care of your son. That is the time when, after guiding, the planning is needed to be done by you. After guiding them, that is the time you'll give to your other child, the child who is regular. So he or she also gets your full attention. And that is the time others will take the onus and you are not going to help them in helping them. Am I getting very complicated? No. What I mean to say, you have to first plan what are the things to be done and delegate the work to your family members and help. And give enough time to your other child also, and you give responsibilities to other family members for the child who is your special needs. And this has to be the norm throughout, always. This has to be done. The moment you organize yourself and the need of the children, you'll find free time for yourself. You will be able to find free time for yourself. It is possible. The moment you see, acha, all these things are being done today, you'll feel satisfied. So if haphazardly and you're trying to do everything, you will not feel that satisfaction in you. Ki, अरे क्या किया? कुछ भी नहीं किया. आपको बस जो नहीं हुआ, that will be in your mind. अरे आज इसने ये scratch कर दिया, ये हुआ. But you'll not be able to see what all has been achieved. So planning is very important. Yes, and everyday planning is important. And delegating work to other family members is very important.
Okay.
It will help, and it is possible to do. It is possible to do. Just plan yourself very well and do. And some things, just learn to ignore certain behaviors. Okay. And if he's pinching or scratching, keep the nails also small. Sometimes we ignore these small things. Okay? And distract the child. Always don't do this, don't do this. Distract the child and give your OT person will also give you ways to release those release those needs of the child who is scratching or pulling or pushing or pinching, hitting. That is all. That can also be taken care of by OT. and you continue those exercises. So if your husband is willing to do some repeat exercises of OT, good for him. Some gross motor skills and fine motor skills can be worked on by your husband. So that is the time you give to your other child or you give to yourself. So don't try to do everything yourself. Take breaks and give work to others. That will be my suggestion, and it will work for sure. Yes,
Thank you.
Minaz.
Thank you. Yes, I was going to say wonderful tips. And also, we believe that there are many teachable moments when, as a parent, when we are dealing with our children, supporting our children or students. So apart from the many things that you said, one important teachable moment that I see here is that when you said, no, don't say no, don't say no. So, no, you generally have, when you talk to children, you're saying, no, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, but you're not saying what they should be doing. So then they are clueless that after not doing this, what do they do? So it's always a better idea to say what they should do rather than what they should not do. So I was just adding to the tip of what Nivedita said. There is always a teachable moment. So I found this as a teachable moment at this time. So I just wanted to reiterate.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Minaz. Also, I would like to say, just the way you said ki don't, no, to kare kya? Yes, kya hai? So another thing, like my daughter still says, I want to do this and I really want to say no. I have started another strategy. I said, yes, we will do this, but not today, tomorrow. So that no thing, she has that hope that it's going to happen. Mama has not said no to it. This I learned much later. Hum karenge zarur, abhi nahi baad mein. So now when she wants to say no, she also said ektu pade means thodi der baad. She's also doing the same thing to me. She also learned the tactics, but I had a mission. She doesn't have a mission. She has learned how to do it. You agree with me, Rajit? She also says we'll do it later when she wants to say no. She also said,
Yes.
Mama ko no nahi bolenge, lekin baad mein karenge, and Mama will understand ki main nahi karungi. So, yeah, jokes apart, कि no ज़्यादा बोलने से बच्चा तंग हो जाता है, इंसान ही तंग हो जाते हैं, any adult, so forget about children.
Very true. There is a question from Sujata. She wants to know, how did you find out about the library job?
This path I only created. There was no library job anywhere. There was no library job because she was hyperlexic. No, she could read. So reading has been the strength in my daughter. This child never had to be taught any spelling in life. Never. In fact, many spellings, when I forgot, I used to ask her. Even now, she will tell you the correct spellings of all the film stars. Because film star spelling, human spellings, proper nouns have 2 A's and 3 A's and what on. So she learned. So, that was a strength. And we tapped on that strength. That strength helped her to study further. Many a time she did not comprehend what she was reading. But मुझे अगर उसको बिठा के, पढ़ा के, याद करा के exam pass कराना है, उसमें 10 और skills वो सीख रहा है. याद करना, बैठ के लिखना, and completing paper, patience, completion of task. तो ये जब कर पाए, so we thought कि reading involved library में काम हो सकता है ना, books and reading. और Preeti would also know, Preeti's daughter would be one of her buddies. और मेधा अगर स्कूल में गुम हो जाती थी, तब हमारे स्कूल में एसी नहीं होते थे. अगर मेधा गुम होती थी ना, her buddies knew where to find her. Where? Library, because there was AC in the library. So she would either go to the IT room or to the library, because those are the two places which always had air conditioners. So it always suited us. That's what my husband said. AC hoga library mein. That is also one factor, comforting factor for us, that she'll be happy there. So this is a path. I didn't know about library. We created a job for her in the library.
So what Nivedita is not saying here is that she found empathetic people in the Shivnadar school.
Yes,
who were ready to look past what Medha could not do and see what she could do.
Correct.
Deepika, I think I saw your hand raised a little while ago. Would you like to ask a question? Deepika?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, please.
I'm not good in English, so can speak Hindi.
Hindi,
Please,
Bengali,
please.
English, anything, whatever you're
Yes.
comfortable with.
हाँ पंजाबी तो then Preeti will only translate. पंजाबी छोड़ के कुछ भी हाँ बोलिए प्लीज बोलिए ना.
मैम मैं अपना एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करना चाहती हूँ. अभी जैसे आपने बताया अपने बारे में, तो भी मतलब कुछ चीजें इतनी ज्यादा सिमिलर है आप में जो मैं अभी अपने बच्चे के साथ में कर रही हूँ. तो मुझे मतलब खुशी हो रही कि आई एम इन अ राइट वे.
So nice.
सच में मतलब बहुत अच्छा लगा मुझे सुन के ना. आई फील सो इंस्पायरिंग.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. अगर आप चाहो मेरा बुक पढ़ सकते हो, आपको मजा आएगा. फिर क्या
Okay.
करना, आप खुद बुक लिखना एक मेरा बुक पढ़ने के बाद.
Yes,
आप-
yes, sure, मैम.
पता है आपकी बुक से आप जब बुक लिखोगे, आई नो यूर फीलिंग इमोशनल. पता है बुक क्यों बोल रही हूँ, मैं समझ सकती हूँ. बहुत रोई हूँ मैं, बहुत रोई हूँ. और सबसे बड़ी बात पता है क्या, ये जो मेरी फ्रेंड है इधर प्रीति, मेरे रोने के पहले वो रोती थी, अब तो हम हंस रहे. ये ज्यादा रोती थी, मेधा का कुछ होता था तो प्रीति ज्यादा रोती थी. तो हाँ, हम जो ये रोते हैं ना, रो लेना चाहिए. क्योंकि जब अपना बच्चा स्पेशल होता है ना, दुनिया में उससे ज्यादा दुख कुछ नहीं होता है. बट
Yes, ma'am.
बट उसको हम इतना भी प्यार करना कम नहीं करते. ये शैलजा,
Yes, right.
अभी भी मैं रोती हूँ.
I don't have a child, but just listening to this, because often हम भूल जाते हैं कि माँ भी एक इंसान है. So it's okay if she is cranky at her child today. It's okay if she is not able to give her child what she wants at that point in time. She is a human and she has her moments where she is low, where she is not feeling well. She has her own mood swings. She has her fights with her husband, her parents,
Yes.
her own health, her periods, her I don't know what not. एक घर की जिम्मेदारी उठाना इतना चैलेंजिंग होता है. उसके ऊपर से ये बच्चा जो आपको इमोशनली, फिजिकली, मेंटली हर चीज में, बट दुनिया क्या बोलेगी, तुम माँ हो, तुम कैसे गिव अप कर रही हो, तुम माँ हो, तुम कैसे हार रही हो. भूल जाते हैं हम कि वो माँ एक इंसान है और उसके भी हर रूप है जैसे हम सबके हैं. So hats off to all the mothers here. Hats off to you. Because we always, बच्चा बुरा है, अरे माँ बाप ने ये सिखाया होगा. मैं नहीं समझ सकती कि कोई भी माँ बाप किसी बच्चे को ये सिखाएगा कि बेटा तू जाके मार, बेटा तू जाके ये कर. तो माँ बाप पे गलती उठाना ये सबसे बड़ी गलती है. But as society, we all have failed because these are the labels that we all have been putting on each other. मतलब it's like that ना situation. तुम करो तो राम लीला, तुम करो तो रास लीला हम करें. हमने सबने एक दूसरे पे लेबल्स लगाए हैं, पर अपने आप पे लेबल लगते हुए देखा नहीं जाता है. So hats off to all the mothers, and I think if we can take something back from this is Nivedita's inspiration and a learning for all of us to stop putting these tags, especially on mothers, because they're also humans and they also deserve their breaks. They also deserve, like you said, take your me times out, and that's right. थोड़ा अगर हम selfish नहीं बनेंगे तो कौन बनेगा? So
yes, true. And to add to what Shailaja said, Dr. Joe Dispenza has a beautiful message for mothers, and he says that heal yourself. Your child can read you, your child can feel you, and they heal with you. So very, very important to do all the things that Nivedita said that she's doing so that she can become energized, rejuvenated, so before she goes to her child again to support her. So heal yourself. That's very, very, very important. Yes. Anybody, any last burning question? We are about to end this in a few minutes. Any sharing, any comments, any feedback, anything? I know we have a lot of parents here, parents of special needs, who are facing the same challenge or similar challenge that Nivedita is facing or was facing.
If anyone would like to talk about what they're taking away from this talk today, would you like to share?
So,
Okay.
so I think Pritinder, Shailaja, should I just end?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Please, Rinas, do a bit of thanks, please.
So as this beautiful event draws to a close, I would like to thank each and every one of you in the audience for your presence. It is this collective energy that is going to be a triumph of our journey. Thank you so much, Nivedita. You shared so many insights, so many anecdotes, so many practical strategies, solutions, and your, the part of your journey, good and bad, both the good days, the bad days. Said you cried a lot. That also you said. All of that. It's your words have given so much solace and hope to many here, and each of us will take back something that will make our children's life a little easier. It's actually very reassuring that there are people like you out there, so who are working out towards making our society a safe and happy place for all. And viewers, if you have any question coming up later, please feel free to send it to us at the Movement Advantage. That's the name of our company, through WhatsApp, Instagram, or Facebook. We will post Nivedita's reply back to you. And do remember to follow us on Instagram and Facebook to keep yourself updated about many more exciting events in the future. Thank you all so much. Thank you for joining us.
Before we say goodbye to each other, may I just add again, remind you that the book is available on Amazon. That's Above and Beyond. And to sum it all, let's have a few words, maybe a few sentences from Mrs. Asha Oberoi, who has been phenomenally fundamental in this book taking shape. Ashanti, would you say a few words, please? You're on mute. You're on mute. You're on mute.
Auntie, unmute कीजिए पहले.
माइक के साइन पे क्लिक कीजिए. That's
one?
it. Yes. We can hear you now.
I'm overwhelmed by all the things you girls have been talking about. I can imagine your problems. And I tell you that when Nivi came to me initially, maybe 25 years back, she was also very, very upset and very broken, as she says. And the book she has written is all positive, which is a great achievement. She has forgotten all her problems. She has forgotten the harsh times she went through. She has forgotten the difficulties. That's amazing. And I wish all of you learn this patience and fortitude from this beautiful lady. Okay. Thank you so much, all of you.
Thank you, Auntie. The link to the book is on the chat. So if I'll just hold it for a couple of minutes, if you'd like to click on that or copy it. Shailaja, if you could give our Instagram handle and Facebook page. Sure. There is a comment from Team Strategize. It says, it was indeed a wonderful session, and knowing the strength and courage that Nivedita has. All of us have learned so much from a brave mother. Kudos.
And Ishita says, you're not just a great mother, you're a role model for positive parenting. Thank you for inspiring everyone around you. And Pushpa says, thank you for the useful tips. One more person, the name is not mentioned. Thank you so much, ma'am. Inspired a lot by your words.
So we hope to see you all more often now. We'll be coming up with a lot of events. As Shailaja mentioned at the beginning, there'll be workshops for children with special needs, parents, caregivers, and therapists and teachers. So stay tuned. Thank you so much and goodbye.
Bye. Sujata says, very good initiative. Hema said it was so inspiring session. Thank you.
Not only mothers, but also for everyone who are a part of the lives of children with special needs. Thank you, Hema.
Should I leave, Preeti? Can I leave?
Yes, thank you. Thank you,
Bye.
Rajit.
Thank you, Rajit.
Thank you, Rajit. It's great connecting with you.
Thank you.
With
Thank you
your
so
feeling.
much.
Chalo. Bye.
Take
Thank you,
care.
Nivedita.
Thank you,
It
Nivedita.
was
you.
wonderful session.
Thank you, Minas. Thank
Very,
you,
very inspiring.
Shalja. Thank you. Bye. Thank you, Preeti. Bye.
Bye, bye, bye.
Bye, Dibu. Take care.
Thank you for a great session. Thank you. Stay tuned for more too.